Now, I knew that there was something wrong with me as soon as I started my periods at the age of 12. They were heavy flowing, excruciatingly painful, and they were always irregular. However, every time I went to my GP, I was told that, oh, it's normal, it happens to everyone, everyone has bad periods. It wasn't until December 2018, just after I turned 24, that I was finally diagnosed by a gynecologist telling me that I had endometriosis. Now, to go off with that, when did you realize that there might be something wrong? And when were you actually diagnosed with endometriosis afterwards?
Do you want to go first, Heidi?
Well, I was around 12, 13 years old when I realised there was something wrong. I would have excruciatingly painful periods, heavy periods, and I was on codeine and paracetamol from that age, whereas my sister, who was a year younger than me, didn't have any issues with her periods at all. So there was quite a contrast between the two of us. And I even collapsed one night when I was 18 because I didn't have any painkillers in my room, and I had to crawl to my mum and dad's room across a courtyard on my hands and knees, and just at 3 o'clock in the morning, like crying to wake my dad up for painkillers. I went undiagnosed for about over 20 years. I started seeing my GPs in the Midlands when I was 23. And I was diagnosed at the age of 36. I was seeing my GP with complaining regularly of excruciating pain, blackouts, bowel pain, abnormal lethargy, and I was prescribed mefenamic acid for 7 years, which is a type of muscle relaxant, and I was dismissed as having overreacting to the pain, and that it was normal for women to go through pain when they have their periods.
Like Heidi, mine probably has suffered for over 20 years. And I actually got my diagnosis at the age of 40. And that was following a misdiagnosis at a leading hospital. I don't want to do any name or shame. But yeah, so at a leading hospital, they missed my diagnosis. I took the images from that surgery to another specialist consultant in Surrey. And he just looked at the images and said that's endometriosis. So July last year, to be specific, 18th of July, just over a year ago, is when I got diagnosed with endometriosis. I don't, and like yourself, Heidi, I think I just grit it and got on. I didn't notice the pain. It was there, and I just got on, and that was it. Just got on with it. And then over the last few years, I would say from about 2016, my health significantly started to decline, and that's when I was like, okay, this grit isn't working anymore, so I really need to go out there and push for a diagnosis and try to understand what's going on.
Yeah. Aamilah went through a terrible time. I mean, your pain was just ridiculous, wasn't it?
24/7 in pain for about, I would say, to the latter part, before having my hysterectomy for 18 months. So, yeah.
Exactly what I'm going to say to all the women and young girls that are watching this. I have very similar story to Aamilah when it comes to just gritting it on for when you're in school. To all of you who think that you might have endometriosis or any other menstrual health issues, be persistent with your GP. Take a friend with you if you're someone who's under the age of 18. Take a parent with you, and keep trying to get your GP to get you an appointment with a gynecologist. That's the most important part. And if you think that the gynecologist's opinion isn't correct and you still think there is something wrong with you, be persistent and try and get a second opinion. Unfortunately, getting a diagnosis for any sort of menstrual health issue or a lot of issues within women is very hard. It takes time, it takes a lot of persistence, a lot of nights where you feel like giving up, but don't give up. Keep being persistent, and one day they will listen. So don't give up on it, and do get a diagnosis from a gynecologist or a specialist, because that's the only way you're going to find out exactly what's wrong.